is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
I didn't talk about this much the last week, and I was invited to go, and I didn't go last night because I didn't, it's not my place, and and they were really kind to me, all the guys at the U, and whether it's Alonzo Highsmith or Mel Bratton or all the different people that are Tolbert Bain, all these guys that are involved with everything that went on yesterday in their meeting, and I wish them the best. I hope they're able to do something. I'm not necessarily I got to be a little bit of I guess a negative Nelly if you want to look at it that way, because that's usually the way fans look at things. But I have I'm one of those guys that's kind of I live in reality, and I know that NFL owners, I know how they treat players and where they want players to be in their place where they belong, and they don't want them making any kind of decisions. And so I don't know if this administration is really going to allow the U in the door, the ex-U players, and I know their thoughts are, Gino Torretta and Ed Reed and all these other guys that have been brought up to be the AD, and I don't think they'll do that either. I just kind of feel that they're not going to allow that to happen, because that's usually what the administration does. They don't really allow players a voice, to be honest with you. And I respect what those guys did yesterday, last night, and I feel their passion because I feel all their pain because I'm a Canes fan too. I've been a Canes fan all my life. You know what I'm saying? I've been a Canes fan longer than most people that are Canes fans because, a lot of those players probably became Canes fans when they became Canes, and they weren't even from this part of the country. Whereas I'm born and raised here, man. Born in Belglade, raised in Miami all my life, and so I'm a Canes fan till I die, and I feel their pain. You know what I mean? I've been watching Canes and going to Canes games since the '70s. Before they were good, and then when they were great, and now that they're crappy, I've watched them all the way through and rooted for them. But I kind of live in the reality that I don't expect administration to build a bridge to the former players and give them a voice. I think in the administration's eyes, normally, and people like Julio Frank, that'll be disruptive to what they do. And even though, some of the stuff that they're talking about makes a lot of sense, you got to really have an AD that understands the community, that understands that the University of Miami is really a different monster than most schools. Because one, it's private, it's not public. So it's a different thing. I always laugh when people say, well, this on campus and all this kind of stuff. And, it's a small school, man. It's a private school. They don't have that many students. And a lot of their students, they don't even live in this country. They're coming here for the education. They're leaving. They're not going to live and breathe and eat and die Canes. And, I always laugh at people and say, well, you've got to be able to draw better. Well, the Canes aren't a normal university. They're not on campus. They're not a state school. They're not like FIU or FAU that can have a ginormous alumni base in South Florida. They just don't, because most of us working stiffs that live here in South Florida, and we are the dominant breed, we can't afford to take our kids to the University of Miami. The only reason my daughter had a semester in a medical program at the University of Miami, and she had a dorm and everything. They gave her a dorm and everything for a semester. And the only reason she was able to do that is because she had a 5.1 GPA. They gave it to her. It's a scholarship she earned, not because I can afford it, not because my wife, who's a teacher, can afford it. We do enough to keep our heads above water. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those deals where I just, it's a different school. It's a different atmosphere. It's treated like a pro team. You got to win in order to draw. You got to win in order to support. You got to entertain in order to have a crowd. They'll tune you out here in South Florida because that's just the way it is. We actually have very smart sports consumers in South Florida. People say, well, no, it's a fair weathered town. No, you can call it fair weather all you want, dude. But if you suck, why should you go? Why should you go see a bad hockey team? Why should you go see a bad football team? Why should you go see a bad baseball team? In South Florida? Are you kidding me? If there's a bad team, why am I going to go there? I'll go to the Hard Rock and gamble for the night and have a great meal with the wife at a restaurant. I'll go to if I'm not a club guy, but some of you can go to a club, go hang out, have some dance a little bit, have a couple drinks, have a good night, go to a concert tonight, maybe a little Nitzer Ebb. Anybody doing a little Nitzer Ebb tonight? Huh? At Respectable Street there in West Palm Beach? Where is the youth? Anyway, so there's a lot of entertainment, right? So if a bad baseball team is playing tonight, hell no, dude, I'm going to drive up to Respectable Street and I'll go see Nitzer Ebb, man. That's it. That's and I'll be in the crowd going, shout, go to shout, lift up your hearts. I lost like 99% of you. Okay, most of you have no idea what Nitzer Ebb is. Anyway, so our music what's it called? Taste is it's all over the place. But that's the example right there. There's a crappy team in town. I'm not just gonna buy the tickets just because I'm a hometown fan. No, dude. I'll go to Las Olas and hang out and have a great time. I'll go with the fellas to a cigar bar, sit down, enjoy a cigar, talk about sports, watch something on television, BS. I can have a great night. I could come up with so many different ways in South Florida to have a great night. Sometimes me and the wife, we like to go down to Isla Morada, and I believe it's called the Isla Morada Fish Company. Oh, it is, right? Fish Company. You know what I'm talking about with the sharks and everything? Yeah, nice job. Nice job by you. Way to go. So they have a nice little restaurant there. The sun sets there. So sometimes we'll drive right to Isla Morada, go right there to the Isla Morada fish thing, go see the people feeding the sharks, whatever, have a nice dinner, watch the sunset, and then, cruise back home. Nice and easy. No rush, no nothing. A Keys cruise. You know how it is in the Keys. So there's so many things I can do. You know what I mean? I know South Florida so well. I'm born and raised here. And me, I don't mind driving. Like sometimes I'll take an afternoon and I'll go with the wife and we'll go up to West Palm and we'll walk around Worth Avenue and all that little, in Palm Beach. Not that we end up buying anything because it's too damn expensive. It's a little bit out of our reach, but it's fun to go to that little Rodeo Drive that they have there. You know what I mean? And then maybe we go over to the Breakers and eat in that I forgot the name of the restaurant in the back with the it's right on the water. I forgot, but there's so many things that I can think of to do that I don't have to go see a crappy team. So our consumers in South Florida are really smart. Why? Because, dude, we're not stuck in Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsin. I apologize, but I get it. Badgers and Packers, and I don't know what else you got. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm trying to make light or fun of any other part of the country, but I'm just saying it's a different lifestyle here, and you got to earn it. And the Canes haven't earned it. And that's why, don't I never complain about you. You want attendance? Do your part. That's what I always tell a sports team in town. Do your part, man. If you don't entertain, how do you expect to have, the stadium full? And so you've got to understand this town if you're an athletic director. And I do understand the players saying, "Hey, we need a guy that and there's no doubt that a Gino Toretto is going to understand it, but he's never been an athletic director. So then that becomes a whole different challenge. And Gino literally has to have no life. Like when you take over that athletic director's job, you're at functions almost every day, 4 or 5 times a week, and you're at all kinds of fundraising functions, and you're constantly meeting with boosters and all kinds of stuff, and you're shaking hands and kissing babies, as they say, on a consistent basis. It's not just, hey, I'll find a head coach and then I'll sit in the club seat and watch everything from there, and that's it. My job is done. No, dude, you got to then worry about the crew, and you got to worry about the basketball team, women's and men's, and you got to worry about the tennis team and replace that coach and this coach, and it's a hell of a job. It's not an easy thing. You have to worry about all teams. Like the ones you guys don't even care about. Like you don't talk about swimming or tennis or golf or crew. You're not talking about any of that stuff, right? He has to worry about all of that stuff. It's he or she, whoever the athletic director is. And that's a different monster. You know what I'm saying? So that part is the part that maybe the players also don't look at. That yeah, you've got to worry about the football team, but yeah, you got to worry about all the other, entities that are involved in the athletic program, whether they produce money or they don't. By the way, okay, which we know 99% of the sports don't produce any money. It's really only football that produces money. I don't even know if basketball should cut a profit only because of the ACC check. It has to. Yeah, right. The tournament. But what I'm saying is their ACC television check should cover it at least. They can't be cut. Now baseball, I don't know if it cuts a profit, and then everything else, I know women's basketball, everything else is not cutting a profit. Okay, that's for sure. But it's a huge job. I just don't. I just don't expect them to go in the former player direction. I really don't. And that's last night I was I decided not to go because why am I going to go? What am I going to do there? I'm just going to stand there and listen to them talk and all that, and I'm not really I'm not really there to talk. You know what I mean? They kind of told me, "Hey man, you can come join us, whatever," and I'm like, it's not really my place. You know what I mean? And sometimes I might be a little too brutally honest, even for them at times. And I know that it wasn't about, hey, let's go and fry the university and let's kill Blake James and all that kind of stuff. It's more about trying to find a solution. And I don't know if they'll be able to find the solution. The question is, will they be included in it, or is it going to be just a token type thing that, okay, well, okay, we hear you guys. All right, thank you for your input. Appreciate it. Now we're going to go about making our own decision. And I think that's probably what's going to end up happening in that situation.